That mentality is something that we have, something that we preach, and that didn't happen today. And I'm not. It's not a play call thing. It's not anything like that. It's just being able to go out there and execute the plays that are called, and be able to execute them at a high level.
It didn't seem like we were all on the same page the whole time. So, like I said, that's a reflection of me as much as anything else, because what we said, as long as we were communicating the mic point and we're on the same page, we'd be just fine this game.
Stephen A., let's get into it. Do you think Caleb should get a pass for week 1 loss?
I believe so. He started out completing his first 6 passes on that first drive, his first 10 passes overall. From there on, he completed only 11 of 25 passes. That's at 44%. What that tells me is that there's somebody on the other side of the ball. His name is Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. Not only somebody that's going up against a player entering just his second season, with his 3rd head coach and his 4th offensive coordinator in the first 18 games of his career, but also somebody that was going up against a rookie coach in Ben Johnson, a rookie head coach, who had been the offensive coordinator in Detroit over the last few years, that Brian Flores was accustomed to coaching against as well.
Right.
And by the way, as I mentioned earlier, this is not Detroit, where you had Gibbs and Montgomery in the backfield, both 1,000-yard rushers, and Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown, both 1,000-yard receivers, plus Laporte at the tight end spot. No, the Chicago Bears are talented, but not that kind of talent on that level that Ben Johnson had to work with all of these years. So now you're in Chicago, you're a rookie head coach, you got a rookie offensive coordinator who was a tight ends coach in Denver the last 2 years, okay? So you got a rookie head coach, a rookie offensive coordinator, your 4th head coach in your first 18 games of your career, your 4th offensive coordinator, your 3rd head coach in the first 18 games of your career. That's a lot to go up against when your first game of the season, the second season, is on Monday Night Football against Brian Flores, who basically played a marathon, not a sprint, played chess instead of checkers, and took time to figure you out. And once he did that, again, like CC said, he blitzed you once early and then blitzed you 14 more times as the game waned. Come on now. If there's ever a reason to give a kid a pass, it would be that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's more of a reason than an excuse, right? Like, I think when you talk about what he has dealt with in Chicago for the last 17 weeks before this game, and I think the relationship between Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, they've only been together 5 or 6 months. Like, it's going to take time. So the same way we're giving, J.J. McCarthy, he's actually been with O'Connell for over a year, right? He watched how Darnold and O'Connell dealt with pregame meetings. What does that look like? How does a play caller associate with a quarterback? Like, this is all new for Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. So I think there were some opportunities there that they didn't take advantage of. They'll go back. They'll have some regret about those. But ultimately, you should feel good about the situation. Caleb Williams will continue to get better. Ben Johnson will continue to get better as a tandem. But I think it's a reason. It's not an excuse. You don't want people to think, oh, well, winning doesn't. It definitely matters. They had an opportunity. They didn't take advantage of it. But they'll learn from this. But he's got a lot of habits. Caleb Williams has a lot of habits that he was taught last year that he has to overcome. Right, like kind of the panic moves, like when he tried to, or we got intentional grounding when he's trying to throw the ball away. Those kinds of things, you don't make bad plays worse. And I think he kind of fell back into that a little bit when Flores started blitzing him more, and that's kind of what cost him in the game.
So he definitely deserves a pass this week. I think, unfortunately, people set the bar extremely high. All offseason, it was like he's getting the best offensive mind that was available. Ben Johnson, we saw what he did with the Lions. So Caleb clearly has to lead this Bears team to the playoffs. And I thought that was a little bit lofty. I wanted to see him play some meaningful games in December and January, like end of season, right? The challenging part here is that people will look at Caleb and say the same mistakes that we saw where even before he was drafted, teams wanted to see that you can do the simple, the basic, the fundamentals right. Because we know you can scramble around and throw on the run. He looked very uncomfortable at times. To Steven's point, that's a Brian Flores situation. Unfortunately for Caleb, guess where Brian Flores is? In your division.
That's right.
So week 1 versus week 7, week 18, you're going to have to see Ben Johnson throughout a season, right? Brian Flores.
Yeah. And it's a copycat league, so people will copy that.
Right. But also the fact the first 15 of the game look great. Like Bears, okay, they're rolling. For 3 quarters, okay, they kind of got stymied a little bit. And then you see a young man who literally is a rookie essentially from in the NFL on the football field standpoint. He came in, despite his slow start, despite the struggles, stayed with it and rose to the occasion. And I think that's what people are going to point to, that this guy who hadn't played at all last year came into a situation where Sam Darnold was here, and the expectation is you carry this team to the playoffs just as far as Sam Darnold. Oh, and also Jordan Addison wasn't there.
Yeah.
You were missing a key weapon, and he still was able to pull it out.
Can I say this about that comparison too? Let's not forget, this team won 14 games. Right? Like it's a
good roster. Very good roster.
Like it's a good team. So Chicago as a team isn't as good as Minnesota. Like if you're just looking at rosters, I would tell you the better situation would have been Minnesota anyway. So I just want everybody to realize that part of that goes in. It's difficult. He's the first pick of the draft, goes through, to your point, 4 offensive coordinators. I mean, imagine learning the language 4 different times in the first 18 games you played, because that's literally what you're learning. That is not easy to do, and everything gets dumped on the quarterback. Now, did he play exceptionally well? No. Are there things he has to work on? For sure. But I would tell you, if I'm comparing the two, I'd be like, hey, I'd take the Minnesota pick. I'd take that job all day over what Caleb's got to overcome.
Yes,
I mean, in that organization, it's totally different.
Stephen A., do you feel like you learned more about Caleb or McCarthy?
For me, I learned more about McCarthy because I walked into the game desperately wanting to see why Kevin O'Connell, who's the quarterback whisperer, who had such a fantastic year last year until the last 2 games, the end of the regular season, and of course, the playoff game against the Reds. I found myself looking and saying, okay, I know McCarthy balled out, won a national championship in Michigan. He's out all last year with a meniscus tear, but my God, he hasn't thrown an NFL pass. And you're letting Sam Darnold walk out the door after he throws 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions for you, guys you to a 14-2 start to the season last year. You've got Justin Jefferson. You got Jordan Addison once he gets back. You look at Hawkinson and these brothers. You got all of these pieces, and you're saying you basically want to hand the reins to a rookie. I walked in saying, I need to see this. And through the first 3 quarters, I wasn't that damn impressed.
For sure.
Especially after he threw that pick 6. But he showed up in that fourth quarter
the
and handled his
resiliency
business.
in the end said a lot.
Give him his credit where credit is due.
You think the Packers are going to run away with the NFC North?
I do. I think the pickup of Micah Parsons, their defense played different. I mean, like, not just Parsons, like the whole defense is flying around. They're making plays. They're getting after it.
Yes.
And it'll only get more and more difficult for teams to find out, because he's had such a limited role. And so now he's going to get better and better. I think they are a very good – and I love LaFleur. I think LaFleur is a great football coach. So I think you got an offensive mind, a great defense going. That's going to be
I
good.
love saying LaFleur because it's spelled like he's French or something, but he is a damn good coach. Well, let me say this. We can say what we want positively about J.J. McCarthy. You know what we're not going to act like? Like we saw this brother can scramble, you know, in a sublime fashion where cats like Micah Parsons and them ain't gonna be able to get at him. Oh, they will.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they will. You understand? You better figure out a way to get that ball out of his hands, because this brother ain't scrambling but so much for you, even though he's scrambling for a touchdown. And I got that part.
Knocked over Hawkinson in the process, trying to get in the end zone.
Hawkinson was laying lockdown.
Hey, do you feel like it's Green Bay's pick, or are you still in on Detroit?
Again, as the resident voice of reason on the show, I'm going to say week 1, I'm not going to overreact. I think the Packers were completely dominant. I love the fact that Michael Parsons said after the game, I'm not even the Michael Parsons that I can be, but these guys have been carrying it, and when I get rolling, we'll be great. But for me, Jordan Love was a guy that you also needed to see it from. I thought he had a great game and all that, but it's week 1. I'm not going to sit here and say that the Packers are going to steamroll everybody in this division. And that, to me, is I just want us to just kind of pump the brakes a little bit.
This is what concerned me with Detroit. They lost so much in coaching.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, they lose 3 of their top coaches, basically, right? To other, and so both coordinators, right? And so now all of a sudden you're looking at this team, and it's Morton, right? Johnny Morton is their OC.
He's the OC.
And no explosives. They made their line. The Detroit offensive line looked very pedestrian, which we had to.
But who they lose on that line? Their center.
Absolutely. Right now, retired. But it's just that That to me is why I say Green Bay, because I see this the kind of the where they are in
with
Detroit.
Micah and Gary being able to get at the quarterback, with their offense being able to do what it does, I can't blame you. But I'm going to say this about Detroit. I am a huge fan of Dan Campbell.
Absolutely.
We have to
Agreed.
he might have made the wrong call here with that offensive coordinator. All right? And if you're that offensive coordinator, you don't hear me calling that offensive coordinators enough. Mr. Morton, let me say this to you on national television. You got 2,000-yard receivers, 2,000-yard running backs, and a cat in Laporta at the tight end spot. If there was one offensive coordinator in America that should be on spotlighted with a magnifying glass throughout this season, it has to be him, because we saw what Ben Johnson had that offense looking like.
I know
You cannot have a precipitous drop-off, because if you do, Detroit has no chance.
Fair, but
you got to
who
be
is
able to
gonna
do
come
it.
in there and replicate Ben Johnson? Nobody's coming in
The
there.
person that was working under him.
You're right. Yeah.
The person that was working under him.
Yeah, now
If you brought in somebody new, Kimberly, I get that. You were right there in Detroit, working with that man every day, with the same personnel.
One, let's let it marinate.
Hold on, Molly. Hold on. I just want to see the Detroit Lions scoring some points.
Mr. Morton.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you already called the man out on Front Street.
Yeah,
So I
After
expect
one
him to
week.
respond.
After one week.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten a
6 points.
headshot,
It's a little-
Stephen A.
Points.
That's
We
a
do
little-
need a headshot.
That's a little-
Give me a headshot
Oh
of Johnny
my
Morton,
God.
offensive
God.
coordinator of the
Don't do
Detroit
that.
Lions.
I feel like we have a new Stephen A. segment
It's
where
week
he
one.
starts
It's
calling
week
people out.
one.
I'm just saying. I didn't say the
Stephen
fire
A.,
guy.
do we need
I
like
said
a
we need to know who he
mugshot
is.
segment for you?
No, not mugshot.
What does he mad about? He needs his
But
own
you know
like
what?
I
You
think
know what?
we do.
I will tell you this.
And we
I
just
have,
have heads pop up.
You've seen it. I have done it before where I've called for
Oh, I
mugshots
know.
now.
I know.
And Johnny Morton, offensive
Okay,
coordinator.
okay. Settle
I need
down.
that picture.
Okay.
We're not getting
Deuce is
that.
going to take care of it.
You know
We
who
gonna- I
we
want
should
that
get a
picture.
nice
I
big
want that picture.
headshot for right now? How about Asia Wilson?
Oh, yeah.
My
Oh, yes.
goodness. Let's get into that.
Flowers for her.
Asia continued her dominance in the 80-66 Aces win over the Chicago Sky. It was her 13th game, scoring at least 30 points, most for a single season in W history. The Aces will look to win their 15th straight versus the Sky tonight. My goodness, Stephen A., how impressed are you with her?
Let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all don't know, you may not remember this, Sergeant Friday, Kimberly. The Las Vegas Aces lost by 53 points on their home court to the Minnesota Lynx August 2nd. They ain't lost a game since.
Wow.
14 straight.
Yeah.
And this woman, Asia Wilson,
about it.
who's already a 3-time league MVP, is about to get another one. Because let me tell you something right now. They look great. And this is what I love about their coach, because she got that guy. This is the woman, Becky Hammond. She's the one coach.
Right.
I've been on the record saying, if you got men coaching in the WNBA, she should be coaching in the NBA.
Yeah.
Because that woman could coach. I love Becky Hammond. Let me tell you something. Her attitude, I can see her now. They get blown out like that on their home court. Ain't no accident they haven't lost a game since. Oh, no, they got pride, and they're playing like it. They're balling right now, 14 straight wins. Asia Wilson's about to win the league MVP. They're third place in the WNBA standings. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with, but Asia Wilson's the truth. She is special.
Absolutely.
Damn right she's going to be
And
MVP
Stephen A.,
again.
you mentioned the Minnesota Lynx. Our next ESPN WNBA game, that's tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 in Minnesota. They're facing the Indiana Fever. Coverage tips with WNBA Countdown at 7. You don't want